Good morning. We're here.
Yeah,
It's like when you have a client, right? And they're rushing in and you just take a second, you're like, are you here yet? Are
I
you
know.
here?
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
I got to sit down, got my coffee because I said I would, and
Yes.
I just listened to what you said, and what a nice intro. I mean, just you, you always do this so on your conversations. You always are so inclusive and warm and welcoming to everybody, the whole community and beyond the community,
Mhm.
and I think that's probably why people keep coming back to you. Not probably, definitely.
Thank you.
Right? Okay,
Yes.
so I have these things in my studio, and I love to do it the first time every morning I walk in.
Mhm.
They're these little pocket mantras, and I have
Okay.
everybody choose one. So I'm gonna just like shuffle and choose one for you,
Sure.
just because it's like a little tradition that I have. So
Okay.
here's yours. It says,
I am strong and capable.
yeah. How's that?
Nice. I like
You
that.
can live with that for the day. Me, I'm gonna trust my instincts.
Hmm. I like
Right?
those. Yeah.
No, they're really fun.
Yes.
I sell them, but I have a deck. Well, I used to have a deck at the front. Now nobody should be touching anything, right?
Right. Yes. Well, let's run with that. I love both of those comments. So trust your instincts.
Yeah.
So how does that resonate with you?
So, just slowing down and listening to myself,
Mhm.
right? There's so much chaos, there's so much jibber jabber. I mean,
Yes.
we talked a little bit about this yesterday, and I think, I listened last night to a couple of live your lives. I love the one with Benjamin, but
Hmm.
I also, well, here I'll kind of veer just a little bit. I also had a conversation with Adam McAtee last night because
Okay.
he works for me,
Yes.
and I wanted to know kind of what this drama was,
Hmm.
that was going on in the Pilates industry. And part of me feels so naive that I don't know. I don't
Yes.
keep up with all the chit chat. And
Hmm.
then as we were talking, I was like, I just don't have time to balance that with my personal life, my kids, my grandkids, my studio, the teacher training program. Like, I don't have enough time to get caught up in the drama, but that doesn't mean I don't want to know what's going on. I guess I just don't want to participate in the extracurricular activity of the
Yes.
emotional part of it. And so maybe that's where trusting my instincts comes in,
Hmm.
that I can pull back from that and watch it at a distance,
Yes.
but then not get all aggro about it.
You said that in such a gentle and polite way, and I almost put on at one point, none of you guys are paying my mortgage,
Yeah,
so I'll deal with this later.
yeah,
Without disrespecting anybody, there is a sense of needing
right.
trying to find some balance with all these different things. So
Yeah.
I'm sorry that this. I hear you. I really do hear
Like
you
we
on
want
that.
to support each other, right? Like I want to be a
Yes.
good support, but in such a like you just said, like why can't we do it in a positive way? Like I actually truly don't understand where we've lost. I mean, my mother would be appalled if I
Mhm.
made a negative comment. It doesn't mean I can't express my opinion, but it's how it's expressed and what the tone is. And I think, with social media, and especially during COVID, we've
Mhm.
gotten so much more reliant on it for information and for
Yes.
contact, right? But
Right.
even then, it's like if I'm going to have a comment, it's going to be a conversation like this. And that's what I applaud you for. It's
Mhm.
those conversations instead of hiding behind a text. And I mean, if you're
Yes.
going to hide behind a text, I'm the kind of person that's just like going to shoot out 100 different emojis. And a lot of people don't like that. But I want I want people to know that it's coming from a sincere, heartful place and not a
Yes.
place of attack because words can be misconstrued so easily, you
Yes.
know?
And and the other part to that too, like one of the ladies who was on, and we were talking specifically about Pilates, but I kind of broadened the conversation. She was saying, look at this exercise. What's different from the way that you taught? And it became this just a natural conversation on something just really, it seemed harmless to talk about recognizing differences. And I flipped it and saying, well, I'm still more inclined to look at similarities.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Right.
think like when
I
our,
remember you saying that. I
yeah,
can't remember
there's,
who it was that you said that with, but I remember that. And I was like, I think I was on and I applauded that. I love that.
mhm,
Right? Why do we have to be so divisive? Why do we have to be so polarized in our opinions? That, I mean, the common thread through all this is health and well-being, right? So
yes,
bringing each other down doesn't increase our well-being at all,
it doesn't.
right?
Right.
I mean, it's so crazy how this time, I think in the beginning, could have, I think some people use this time, I want to say, the last 7 months, for self introspect, for trusting your instincts, for going deeper. That and that doesn't mean shutting down,
Right.
because I had plenty of people who just shut down, like
Mhm.
mentally, physically, all of it.
Yes.
Gained weight, ate crappy,
Mhm.
didn't do anything. And I was on the other spectrum of it. Oh my God, I have a brick and mortar that I just moved into. I mean, I've been in business for 18. No, God, I always I'm just old.
You said grandkids earlier. I was like, wait, back up.
I
Okay.
know, I know.
Yeah.
They're with my stepkids, but I do. I have two grandchildren. They're teeny, but oh my gosh, they're so adorable. But yeah, I've had the business for 21 years,
Mhm.
and I was in one location for 18 and a half years, and then I just moved into this beautiful place that I put all over Instagram all the time.
It's
Um,
beautiful. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it's love, sweat, and tears. I was my dad, my grandfather, and my brother all general contractors, so I learned how to just use my hands and rather do it than pay somebody to do it,
Yes.
because then I know it's going to get done right too.
Mhm.
So yeah, there was a lot of blood, sweat, and tears in here, but that was November 2018, and so I mean, for me during this, it's like, how do I keep this going? What do I
Yes.
do? How do I be creative? So I know you were talking about that, prior to me coming on.
Mhm.
One of my ways of being creative, which I actually got from another Pilates teacher in Hermosa Beach. I'm in Manhattan Beach. She said, I got to rent some of my equipment. And I'm like,
Hmm.
I'm going to do that.
Yes.
I've owned all this for so long, I might as well, and it's going to just sit here, right? So
Right.
I actually rented out 3 of my reformers and 2 of my chairs, and they're still out, and it's still income for me right now,
Yes.
because
Brilliant.
I can't have that many reformers even in here, since we're open, under the direction of my acupuncturist.
Yes.
So yeah, it's a brilliant way of having income. And I go to their homes,
Mhm.
So I mean, it's, we have to talk about how we can make all of this work. That for me was one way of subsidizing some of my income
Mhm.
to pay for my overhead and keep it going
Yes.
without a
One of
loan.
Yeah, that's yeah, brilliant, right?
I don't
One
want a
of
loan.
one of the things that we were talking about here with the space I'm in is a multidisciplinary space. So we have athletic therapists, chiros, physios, but the one line that Andrew, the owner, and myself talk about a lot is grit.
It's what? Oh, great.
Grit. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
so in this time, it's easy. Like you can put your head in the sand and kind of throw everything in,
Yeah.
or you can double down and be creative and
Yeah.
just grind on it and then just
Yeah.
really continue to work. So we had such an admiration looking at people that would, they rented equipment out, they moved their stuff outside, they went to a open space, they
Yeah.
stayed visible, and based on that, I was really saying, there's times that you go into this where it's like, okay, when we were busy before, pre-COVID, pre-lockdown, we were so busy working in our business that we didn't have any time to work on our business.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And now we're in a space where, okay, I'm not seeing 8 people in a row. There's no pat classes. I had to have some time to breathe. And now I was like, well, what were some of those things I wrote down for my business before I started it? Maybe it's time to circle back and look at those things.
Yeah. Yeah. And for me, it was actually, I adjusted to having, whoops, like my ceiling.
Yes. Yes.
I adjusted to having my days be packed like that in a row and
Mm-hmm.
going in, like setting up a 15 or 30-minute break.
Okay.
And I actually, I got to move this just a little bit again because, it's on the continue bar. And so that gave me time to clear my head of the last person.
Yes.
Because I get, like, I'm like,
you're there.
Yeah, I mean, this has been a long time of teaching, and I, again, like, trust my instincts. My instincts were to pull back slightly. I mean, again, be creative, have grit, go for it, but also give myself time to breathe. Because I was actually running myself, which I think we all do, business owners. We start to forget that we're running ourselves into the ground.
Yes.
So this was, again, this time of balance, and I don't know if I want to go back to going bam, 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 that having that time. And even if it's just time to go walk down the street and get a cup of coffee, or I get in my car and I go, I might be in the studio 1 hour and then I'm at a client's house, 30 minutes later, but it's that drive with my music on, and I'm just, I'm not in a rush. I give myself plenty of time, except for this morning.
Right.
But I'm usually not in a rush because I've got that time spaced out, and I really am enjoying that.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's definitely a silver lining for me.
Yes.
Of pulling back and looking at things. Yeah. As far as the teacher training program goes too, that was interesting.
Had to make some pivots there too.
Yeah, we had started. So I bring people in every 6 months.
Okay.
I used to do it once a year, and it was just, I had too many people calling, going, "Can I come in? And I and so I changed it, and I love it because if I have a group come in like I did in March, then when we repeat the program again in September, they kind of mentor those new people, and those new people are, usually like, "What the heck? This is so much information. I'm lost. I'm done." And, even though I keep my group size really small, they still can't vie for all my attention when I have a full clientele.
Of course.
That's just not going to work. So, my stepdaughter's sending me an invite for something. Clear that phone. So what we did though with COVID was we were able to meet in March. It was the weekend right before Wednesday when LA closed down.
Okay.
Or I guess the whole world started, or at least the US started closing down. And then we went right to Zoom.
Yes.
I kept everybody on Zoom April, May, and June. So March, April, May, June, July. Yeah, June, July. So I think we had 3 months on Zoom, and then we were open again for like 2 weeks. Yes. I got to bring them back in, and we closed right down again.
So you got some good touch points, though. That counts.
I know. And what was crazy was I kept telling them, I know you guys are frustrated. You're not in here. I can't touch you. You can't touch each other. But I have them write their own syllabus out, or not syllabus.
Okay.
I write the syllabus. They write everything out though. That's how my education was. And for me, if I read a manual, it goes, like I can't. So I have them write it out. And I said, this is an opportunity for you guys to have really amazing notes. I recorded everything so they could go back to it. And then I said, once we get in and you start doing this the second, in September, because I know we'll be able to come in, it's just going to feel so much better. And you're going to have that information in your head, and then you're going to get to experience it. And they did. They've loved it. So, so that's really cool. Yeah.
Nice.
I actually have 2 people from Japan doing my program now too.
Awesome. I see Charm City PT Jason Williams, one of my Pilates guys, is there too. Do you have any guys in your apprentice program?
Not right now.
Okay. Have you?
Yes. So yeah? Adam was one of them.
Oh, Adam. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
I'd love to have him on at some point too. I know so much.
Yeah, I told him I was going to be speaking with you this morning. He's like, I gotta watch him. Yeah. So yeah, he's a really nice guy, super smart. I love, he's starting to pot a little bit, and he's down for it. Or I should say he's up for it. He likes those conversations. He's very authentic. And he listens. I think that's another thing of this whole COVID and time part is that we hold space to actually listen. And this is this whole thing. My daughter went to this progressive learn. Well, she was homeschooled, but she went to a project-based school for high school, her junior and senior year, super small. And they always had this comment, are you listening? Are you actively listening? Because you have to actively listen to really hear.
Absolutely.
So that's just kind of a comment we have in our house all the time. Are you listening? Are you actively listening to me?
The reason why I like the word actively listening is because I have a record collection.
Oh, sweet.
And my wife loves vinyl, straight vinyl. And if you think about your music these days, you put on Spotify, you choose a playlist, and it can just run forever, right? Yeah. It just runs forever. With a record, you're listening, but then you hear the pop, you hear the scratch, and then all of a sudden the music stops. It's like, and then you have to get up, flip the record over, and start it again. So you can't, you're actually engaged more. You're actively listening to vinyl, whereas you can tune out to digital music.
You are so correct. You're talking my day and age, though. Seriously. I used to sit on the floor with record albums and just look at all the words on the cut, inside. Yes. And my daughter's a musician. She's a singer-songwriter and plays guitar and piano. And so she's all about vinyl. I love it.
Right. And it's active listening.
Yeah. And what she can hear and what I can hear are completely different. She'll come back from the producing studio. She goes to a Topanga, and she's like, look, Mom, Adam added in, these raindrops. And I'm like, what the heck? Here's an example too. We were sitting, driving up north at Christmas time last year, and we were listening to, I think it's a Carly Simon song. And I want to say it's You're So Fine.
Okay.
Right?
Yes.
Do you know who sings backup in that song?
No, I had no clue.
Yeah, me neither. Until my daughter's name's Gabrielle. She goes, that's Mick Jagger. I'm like, what? It was crazy. Or is that right? Is You're So Fine? Is that Carly Simon? Am I off?
I don't know.
I'm so bad. This is how she just hears things and picks things out. Has that? She always actively listens, and because, and
but sorry, go ahead. No, but that's. Go ahead.
You go.
There's a great delay that makes for interesting conversation, everybody. So go ahead.
Are you gonna go?
Nope.
Okay. I was gonna say I probably don't listen as well as I watch.
Okay.
But that still takes time to stand back and not have an opinion or react. I'm more of I love to watch.
Yes. which is listening with your eyes.
Right. Yeah.
And that's our Pilates work, right? Like that is the next level for myself as a teacher.
Mm-hmm.
You know, can I listen on a different level? Can I be active in my listening? Can I be active in listening with my eyes? What can I see beyond the movements? Like, what are the bones doing? What is there anguish on their face? Or like, you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
there's a next level to our teaching that comes as we get better at our listening,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So,
There was this drill that I actually do that I learned from Amy and Rachel at the Pilates Center, because that's where I did my training.
okay.
And they had us take two, I think it was two exercises. It was just like they just named random two exercises. These are the two exercises you're going to do. And the first time you're going to teach it, you're going to only use your voice. So put your hands behind your back.
Yes.
Don't use your hands. Don't touch them. Just use your words. And then the second time you taught, say short spine, you could only use your hands and no voice. You couldn't talk at all.
Okay.
And then the third time, let's say you're going to teach long stretch, you could only use cues that were imagery based.
Okay.
So talk about starting to get your wheels going, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we just did that with our last teacher. I pulled that out for my last teacher training weekend, which was just like 2 weekends ago, I think. Okay. And they were having, like, they were struggling, you know?
Good. Yeah.
It's really good. I loved it. But I also love, again, watching and seeing what they're seeing or trying to see, and, you know, trying to say. And it's so fun. You know, you got to stumble over your words sometimes to find your words.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Right? Yeah.
What was my mantra again? I'm strong and capable.
Oh, wait. Hi, Jen. Wait, strong, capable, what?
Like my daily mantra thing.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Sorry. I already forgot.
Yeah. No, it's fine. Like but thinking about that, like that's the way that we get strong. If you take it to personal training, take it to fitness, you break the muscle down, you challenge the muscle, you make it uncomfortable, and that's when it grows. Right. And I feel like that's, the discomfort of trying to learn ways to teach, that makes us stronger, right? Like, and I like that. So for myself, the post I put up this morning about like dealing with going through a divorce and how these are things that it would look like a sign of weakness, but it's actually something that makes me stronger. Absolutely. I love that, because there's so many different parallels that I pull with that, whether it's my personal life or like me trying to get better at my craft or these conversations. There's times that we need to be uncomfortable. There's times that we need to be challenged. Times we need to be doing things that we're not used to, so that it can like make us more, like, just what's the word I'm looking for? Diverse in the way that we get handled, more versatile.
More versatile. Yeah. So I have a question for you. You said you played football. Where did you play? Was high school, college? You played college.
Yep, high school, and in Canada, it's like the university would be college. Yeah. Okay. So I played for University of Waterloo. So it's a Canadian ball, and then
all 4 years.
Actually 3 years, and then I found a master's program. So I peace out. Wasn't gonna go pro, so figured let me just continue my education.
I'm curious about that. What makes people, like, you enjoyed it, right? Did you enjoy it, or was it just familiar and you wanted to follow through with it? What do you think?
In terms of the football or just I enjoyed it, but I also saw like it's opportunities too, right? Like not getting playing time, not like I wasn't like I was carrying a team. I wasn't that significant in it. So I had to make that point where I can double down, train harder, go for another year, or I can look at what other options and what other opportunities are coming towards me. And it just at that point, I was in my third year, and I could choose to make my 4-year degree a 3-year degree and do a 3-year master's without having an honor. You know what I mean? So like it just the program that I was looking at, I was eligible for. So I wanted to take advantage of the opportunity to get into that program.
Yeah.
And the way that I get the opportunity of being a pro football player and recognize that like education is the way to go. Right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
Did you love it?
The program or the
The
football?
football.
I did. I loved it, but I realized that there was a point at which it was like, this isn't my identity. There's more to me than just football. So I wanted to just give other areas expression.
Yeah.
You know, like I wasn't happy with how my football career was going.
Okay.
As much as I liked the sport, I liked my player, I liked my teammates and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's just time to move on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I always wonder about like things that we're passionate about and things that make us who we are today, you know, and all that time that we put in, you know, to sports and movement. You know, for me, it was dance.
Yes.
I mean, I'm trying. I'm just always curious, like what makes the change. And I mean,
Yeah.
obviously you can't be a football player forever, and you can't be a dancer forever. I mean, they're both very physical, right?
Yes.
And we usually there's an injury or we wear ourselves out mentally or physically. But
Yeah.
I just, you know, there's still a part of me though that loves to dance.
Yes.
Like, I mean, I think that's always going to be a part of me.
Yes.
And when I find more, like right before COVID, I had started dancing again. I had said, all right, I'm going to get, you know,
Nice.
point shoes back out. I gotta do something. And when we lived in San Diego for a little bit, I was dancing there as well. I think I was almost at the point where I was like, oh, I'm going to really dance again. Maybe
Yes.
I don't need the studio anymore.
Nice.
There's no money involved. It's just this absolute, you know,
Passion. Yeah.
that makes me want to move like that. And I guess that's what, you know, I try to put into my teaching and into my own practice too, is that movement and that desire for well-being, right?
Yes. Yeah.
That sense of elation.
Yeah. I think about those checkpoints too. You know, like I had a good friend of mine, Mano Watsa, and I'll probably send this to him after that. I said his name. And I was playing varsity football and he was playing varsity basketball.
Uh-huh.
And he was like the man on his basketball team, the captain. He's like, you know, he just carried his team and he had a great team. And he was on the cover of the Waterloo paper the whole time. And at the same time he was doing that, I was fighting for playing time and didn't dress. And I was trying just to get like minutes every week over week. So I was really frustrated with how my academic, you know, athletic kind of career was going. And I was watching his go really, really well. And I was always struggling with that. Like, well, I'm here. And then the message became like, how do you overcome rejection? How do you overcome challenges? How do you go back out and work as hard as you can the next day? And that became my message, where his message looked like, you know, if you just work really hard, you can carry this team and you can be the man on campus. And I was like, well, why does my message have to be this perseverance message and his could be the celebration message?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I want his message, right?
Yeah. I know.
You know what I mean?
It always looks greener, right? Grass is greener.
Oh yeah,
Oh
totally.
my gosh.
Yeah. But so like you sparked that memory for me. Like, okay, well that's part of it is that those are those checkpoints that we go through in our lives where we have to say, okay, well, what is the message? What am I supposed to be learning right now?
Yeah. Yeah.
And as we can receive that message of what we're supposed to be learning right now, I realized that for me, the message was you are not, and I see Maria there too. Hi, my friend. So the checkpoint for me at that point was that you are not a football player. You are a man who plays football.
Okay.
So, and what I was getting at was like, we take rejection so personally. We take attacks against us so personally. We take those defeats personal because we identify with what we do as opposed to who we are.
Oh my gosh. So, absolutely. Absolutely. You know, so when I so my dance career, you know, I was a ballerina with Open Metropolitan Ballet. I was 9. I was so young, right?
Wow.
And
Yes.
then I quit when I was 14. I was just like, okay, no more. And then I just did other types of dance. So I've kind of gone in and out of dance. But when I went to college, I went to San Diego for a year, and then I decided I really wanted to dance. That was it. I wanted to dance. My parents said, no, you need an education. And I'm like, okay, fine. I want to go to a school that I can dance at then. And so I had 3 opportunities. NYU, Cal State Long Beach had a dance program, and UCLA had a program. I couldn't get into UCLA, but I could get into, believe it or not, NYU.
Okay.
But I picked Long Beach. And I mean, I'm really glad. I don't have any regrets for what I picked, and I did. And I got a dance agent at the same time. And so I satisfied my parents' desire for me to get my education, but I satisfied my desire to keep dancing while I was young enough to do it with getting a dance agent. And I just kind of glided through school, but most of my attention was, you know, for all the auditions and auditioning. Man, I mean, you know, you have to have tough skin, right?
Yes.
I mean, and it took me such a long time to figure out that I wasn't actually being picked for my talent. You know, because so much of the time that, I mean, I'm in LA, right? There's a look, and it has to be diverse as well. So, and I'm tall, I'm 5'9", so I'm not like, I wasn't going to be a ballerina for the rest of my life anyway, right? So, because I was getting too tall. And even as a dancer here in LA, being that height, you kind of get put into a category. So as soon as I kind of found my niche, my frustration with, you know, not getting what I wanted or not getting work, I just, because there's so much work to be had, it was like, all right, I know I can go over in this direction. So please, like, don't send me out for a beer commercial. I do not look like a beer commercial girl, you know?
Right. Yeah.
I'm like I said, I'm tall. I did, believe it or not, more modeling because I just had that tall, slender figure, and I could fit in well with not standing out too much, right? So as soon as I found that niche, that made it much easier for me to say, hey, no, I'm not going to that audition, but I am going to that one. And, you know, after a while you start to know casting people and being on time and accountable and pleasurable to work with. You know, they're willing, they're like, sometimes I didn't even have to go on auditions anymore. They're just like, yeah, we want her, you know, they start with you. So, and then I will say this was a great piece of information from my friend Joey Shetler, who is a dancer. I remember getting so bummed out about not getting one job. I think it was Academy Awards. Like, I just wanted to dance on the Academy Awards. Like, all my friends were, I wanted to. And she took me aside and she goes, oh, Stacey, it's okay. You're going to get another job tomorrow and it's going to be better. And I'm like, okay. And when I started taking on that approach to my career and my life and putting that out there,
tomorrow's going to be better.
It actually happened. It was crazy. Crazy, wonderful, you know? So those are the good times, I guess I remember.
That's amazing. Yeah. That's encouraging. And if we can take those messages and like those stories with us and apply them to every challenge, like we're wiser for it.
Right. Like it could be a rough day, but there's hopefully tomorrow, right? Or at least we have maybe time throughout today to turn what we thought was a negative into a positive. And, you know, saying that too, does life have to be positive every single day?
Right.
No,
we feel we're entitled to that, but the reality is no.
We don't we don't grow from that, right?
Right.
Yeah. I know. I know.
So Stacey, I know that you have an 11 o'clock, so we're
Oh
trying
yeah,
to
I have,
cut
yeah.
this a little bit earlier, but I wanted to get this in.
Oh,
For just like an actual, just a personal thank you to you, because I was reading through our texts, like I think it's from maybe mid-August or so. I was saying like, hey, I'd love to have you on. It's like, no, this date, yes, this date, no, this date, and we bounced back and forth with dates so many
yeah.
times and different things coming up. But in the midst of that, there's just this thread of, wow, that's amazing. That's so awesome. I never knew that before. Thanks so much for posting that. Like, you've just thrown so many encouragements at me, and you've been
Oh,
so like empathetic and so encouraging. And yeah, so I just noticed that. I mean, at the time I said thank you and I didn't ignore them, but just as I was reading through it, like there has been months of you just cheering me on as I've been doing these. So I just wanted to just take a moment and just publicly say thank you, because I really, really do appreciate that.
I like bringing people up. I mean, to their best potential, right?
Yes.
I mean, and this is what I try to do in my business too. Like all my clients, I want them to be the best they can be, and I want people to help bring me up, you know?
Yes.
So, I want to say, like, at the beginning of the year, I made this. I don't believe in New Year's resolutions. I believe in intentions. And my
Yes.
intention this year, like loudly, which I do not do. Usually it's very personal, but I was like, I want to surround myself with like minded people.
Mm.
So you fell into my lap.
Yes. I feel that. I really, like, honestly, I really do appreciate that. Like, thank you so much.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
You are, like I said, you're a source of amazing information. You're positive. These conversations, I hope you continue them forever. You're very, very good at it. You're natural at keeping a conversation going and making people feel very at ease. Like you were right. I was nervous in the beginning, just like when I called you yesterday, but you just kind of make people settle in really, really, really easily, and it's very enjoyable.
Well, thank you.
Thank
Appreciate that.
you. So you're my new friend.
Yes.